Hi, welcome back to part 10, I think we're on. Painted the engine. It's had 2 coats with the brush. It'll get another coat with the spray gun, I expect. But I've got a good coat of paint on there. It's mostly dry. It's cold and damp. It takes a long time to dry. But yeah, I've got a couple of coats of paint on the engine. That is looking good. The engine is mechanically all together. Just a few bits left to do. The water pump backing plate, which I've got to tap a hole out of, and then I can bolt that on. The tappet chest covers can go on. I've got new bolts for the front. These are the bolts that hold the stays on for the front axle. I twisted the top of one bolt and had to drill the other one out completely. So we've got new bolts in there now. Put that back on there. Now I have been working my way back up the chassis. I need to paint all of this, but I'm mending things as I go on the outside now. We've mended everything inside. I have been working on the brake pedals, which have had issues. Now I said the brakes were pretty good on this tractor, but they worked well. They'd locked the wheels up, but they weren't very smooth in operation. This wheel locked up quite easily. You could get this wheel to lock up, but you had to near stand on the pedal. Now I have ordered all new brake discs, brake actuator balls. We'll cover it when I come to put the back brakes together. But the back brakes use these little fellas here. There's two of these per side, and they get sandwiched between plates that basically squeeze them all together. Now, recollection off the website tells me the new ones are between 12.6 and 12.7. So these are 12.5. So barely worn out, unless I've got the measurements wrong. I've ordered new ones anyway. They're plenty cheap. We might as well have new. Then we know. Also, the operation of the brakes, everything was just a bit stiff. Needed a bit of assistance. I'll show you what I've done with the brake pedal and the problems I found. We've had a couple of issues we've had to address. I'll drop some footage in of what I've done with the brake pedals at this point. But here is our brake pedals. Hang on, can I zoom you out anymore? No, that's all you're going to get. Right, this pedal is your central pedal. And via this little balance bar, this pedal operates both sides at the same time, if that makes sense. Or you can flip this one up out the way and use your left and right pedal independently. Now what was happening is this was all out of alignment. I've had to cut the quadrant off the back of the centre pedal and re-weld it. The weld had broke and it had become all twisted, which basically meant the left hand pedal would collide with the centre pedal and operate all the brakes regardless of whether you were using the centre pedal or the left and right pedals. I've straightened all of this. I had to cut the weld quadrant off because it was actually, this weld was cracked. I've re-welded that, and also this cross shaft which runs through there, down across the gearbox and comes out this side and operates that lever that's on the floor down there. That was bent, which meant basically all this moved around as the shaft only moves about, I'm guessing, well, I'll show you. The shaft only moves that much, but that was enough of a bend in that. I'll put a picture on the screen now of the bend. As you can see, it's quite wobbly. Here's a picture of me after I'd straightened it, and I straightened it using the press with those 2 little V blocks. I'll probably put a picture of me doing that up now as well. That got the shaft straight enough to be acceptable. You can get a new shaft, but I'm quite happy that that one is up to the job. The other thing I noticed is clearance. This pedal was colliding with this nut on the end of this pivot. And I did think to myself, that bolt surely should be the other way round. I.e., this head should be this side. There's a lot more room here than here. In the manual, sure enough, it shows this bolt being the other way round. It also shows me that was missing on my tractor is through that little hole there in the quadrant and that hole there on this little bracket, there should be a spring which keeps this pedal up out of the way. Keeps that pedal right up there out the way. The spring was missing. It wasn't on here when I got the tractor. I only noticed that looking in the manual. So my advice to anyone is always look in the manual. So that was my brakes. I'm happy, all other than turning this bolt around, I'm happy that they're all good. Okay, a couple of hours later, I have cleaned the gearbox up. I'm beginning to wonder if this wasn't a replacement gearbox at one point. The paint on it was awful, and there was no blue paint at all underneath. It didn't match the paint finish on the rear end or what was originally on the engine. So possibly at some point in its life, that was a replacement gearbox. Don't know that, but who knows. Anyway, I'm getting this ready. I'm going to paint everything from here forward. The reason being, so I can start putting an awful lot of bits back on it, including the steering box, the axle stays, the pedal assemblies. I can clean them up, paint them, and I've got somewhere to put them so they're not just sat around on the floor in various places. I've taped off the ports. These are the old glow plugs, so I'm using them to fill the holes. I've taped off the valve gear. It doesn't matter too much if you get paint on these bits. It'll just dissolve and get run through the engine. It'll be no problem at all. This side's all cleaned up as well. I think we're ready to fire up the paint gun. Okay, here we are a few minutes later. As you can see from the overspray still in the air, we now have a blue gearbox. I've gone over the engine one more time. I haven't got any runs, although I've got a good thick coat on there. Take you around this side. Oh, I've got a bit of wire in my sock. So yeah, paint. That's about as good a finish as you're going to get on cast iron. Like I said, this isn't a Ferrari, it's a tractor, and this is going to look great when it's together. So I think that's it for this episode. I'm going to let this paint dry for a couple of days, and then we'll start cleaning up the steering box, the steering arms, the tie arms, getting all that on. Then we've got a tractor that we can steer and move around, and we'll concentrate on the back end. But yeah, best thing I can say with paint is once you've got a coat on there, just walk away. Don't touch it any further. Let it do its thing, and hopefully tomorrow it'll all look good. But see you on the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe, or you could miss out on the next one. And yeah, see you soon.